कि प्रजातंत्र बहुत सारे झंझावातों से गुजरा है। इमरजेंसी अर्थात आपातकाल ऐसा ही एक झंझावात था जो भारतीय प्रजातंत्र के लिए बहुत ही दूरगामी प्रभाव देने वाला था। आज इसी के ऊपर एक आर्टिकल पब्लिश हुआ है तो उसको मैं पढ़ना चाहूँगा अपने लिए। 50 years ago, traced with the fear, the emergency tested India's engagement with democracy. Though scared, the nation survived. 50 years ago, this day, India received a rude jolt when the Union government declared a national emergency that led to a suspension of constitutional rights, including civil liberties, and imposed authoritarian rule on the country. The 21 months that followed were a deeply lacerating time lacerating time for a people who were building a republic on the foundations of the legacy of the national movement and the constitution that gave legal sanctity to its ideals. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi signed by the signed by the Allahabad High Court verdict signed by the Allahabad High Court verdict that convicted her of electoral malpractices, declared her election null and void, and disqualified her from holding elected office for 6 years, chose the shroud of emergency to stay in office. A pliant President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad did not object, and country slipped into a long night. Power supply to media offices was cut that night so that newspaper could not report the events underway. Politicians from opposition parties, trade unions leaders and Sarvodaya leaders Jai Prakash Narayan JP were arrested that night, and organizations including the RSS, Anand Marg and Jamaat Islami banned. A few such as Socialist Party Chairman George Fernandez went underground to organize a pushback. An estimated 35,000 people were arrested under the Maintenance of Internal Security Act, and 76,000 people were held under the Defence of India Act and rules during the emergency months. The government had its way with the emergency because the institutions expected to provide the checks and balances failed to challenge the subversion of the constitution. Like the president's office, the Supreme Court, except one judge, Justice H.R. Khanna, cowed before an imperial prime minister and her coterie, coterie, coterie that unleashed a regime of fear by weaponizing legal provisions, suppressing free speech, and imprisoning the regime's opponents. Well intended public policies such as population control measures to anti corruption and black marketing provisions turned into symbols of state repression and instruments to jail people. The administration used its publicity arms to claim that all was well with the nation and its citizens. JP ailing and in jail was the moral hand that guided the resistance of the emergency. The political dynamics unleashed by Indira Gandhi saw a coming together of the opposition parties and even dissenters within the Congress party, which led to her defeat in 1977. The emergency marked a rupture in independent India's history. Political India was never the same thereafter, but the restoration of democracy following the massive mandate for the Janata Party was a redemptive action that instilled faith in the power of vote among citizens. The emergency tested India's trust with the democracy. Unlike most other post colonial nations, it survived the fire with the scares, scars. और इसका असर केवल डेमोक्रेसी ही नहीं बल्कि जुडिशरी पर भी पड़ा। और इमरजेंसी के दौरान मुझे याद है कि उस समय तो हम लोग बहुत छोटे थे, लेकिन जब जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस साहब आते थे तो उस समय हम लोग उनका भाषण थोड़ा बहुत सुनते थे। और क्योंकि हम लोग जिस रास्ते से आते जाते थे उसी रास्ते में एक छोटा सा स्थान था जहाँ पर जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस साहब आते थे। और फिर उन्होंने रेलवे की बहुत बड़ी स्ट्राइक की थी जिसमें सभी लोग शामिल हुए थे। पिताजी और उसके बहुत सारे बहुत सारे मित्र जेल गए और बहुत सारे मित्रों की नौकरी भी चली गई। और उसके लिए आजीवन पिताजी संघर्ष करते रहे, उनके लिए, उनके परिवार वालों की रोजी रोटी के लिए। तो एक मतलब इमरजेंसी से कहीं ना कहीं हम भी प्रभावित रहे उस ज़माने में, जब हम बहुत छोटे थे, समझते भी नहीं थे। सब लोग घर चले गए थे उस समय गांव, और पिताजी अकेले रहा करते थे। तो इमरजेंसी एक बहुत ही काला धब्बा है, काला अध्याय है भारतीय प्रजातंत्र के लिए, डेमोक्रेसी के लिए। और ऐसी खतरनाक प्रवृत्ति को रोकने का संविधान के माध्यम से प्रयास होना चाहिए। थैंक यू।